Hey, it's me, Mystic Gwen, and I'm about to go horizontal up in here. Yeah, did I just say that? I did, and I am. This is going to be all about your soulmate, who they are. To get the most out of this, you need to figure out what your Eros and Psyche are in. Google Eros Psyche charts. Recall when your birthday is, even if you don't want to. And then come back here and pay attention to what I have to say about both of those, my dear, and everything else I have to say, because I have a lot to say. Time to go horizontal, but first, one of you's calling me. Oh boy. I'm Mystic Gwen, by the way, if you don't know who I am. Watch my other videos. Push pause, come back. So you figured out what your signs are for Eros and Psyche, but you probably don't have any inclination as to why those are of importance. So what we're looking at here is Western astrology, and for Western astrology, Greek mythology plays a significant role in the interpretation and understanding of it. So I'm going to go through a very condensed version of the story of Eros and Psyche, and I do suggest you read it if you haven't before, because Greek mythology is definitely interesting, and the story of Eros and Psyche is certainly romantic. Much more realistic than the sort of romances that are coming out in the movie theaters nowadays. Now, Psyche was the most beautiful woman in the world. She was so beautiful, people stopped going to Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty's temples, to worship her, and instead worshipped this woman. That in turn obviously upset Aphrodite, who sent forth for her son, Eros, the god of erotica, and aka Cupid, and she said, Eros, you need to go and pierce Psyche with an arrow, make her fall in love with the ugliest being on earth. And Eros, being a good little boy, did what his mother said, and he flew to Psyche, but when he saw Psyche, he himself was pierced with love. He couldn't slay this woman and curse her to a marriage with some ungodly-like beast. That being said, he decided to pay a visit to Apollo, who some people say is also Eros and Cupid. Greek mythology can be a little confusing in that regard. And he went to Apollo and he said, listen, this is what Mom told us to do, well, told me to do, and I can't do it. I'm in love with Psyche. I've seen her. I love what's on the inside. So they devised a little plan. Now, meanwhile, Psyche is very upset and lonely. Now, she is the most beautiful woman in all of the land, but no one cares about what's on the inside. They only care about her good looks. And this leaves Psyche feeling lonely. Add to that, all of her sisters have married kings, and no one has offered their hand in marriage to her. Now, Psyche's parents were concerned as well, so they paid a visit to Apollo. And Apollo said, what you must do is you must take Psyche to the top of a mountain, and there a snake-like beast will come, and he will marry her. Now, although that sounds preposterous to most, back in this day and age, people did what gods told them to do. So they brought Psyche to the top of the mountain, and Psyche was there, and she was crying hysterically, and she was waiting for her snake-like spouse to appear. But instead, Zephyr flew by and picked her up on his mighty wings and flew her to a golden home full of treasures and a banquet full of food. Now Psyche was thrilled, and she could sense that her husband was there, but lo and behold, she couldn't find him anywhere. That night, her husband appeared. She couldn't see him in the darkness cast, but they made love, and he promised to care for her and protect her for the rest of her life. Psyche was thrilled with this, but he had one catch. She had to agree never to see him. And Psyche agreed to this. After many months, Psyche became lonely, and she wanted to be visited by her sisters. So she asked her husband for permission, and he said yes, but it is contingent upon the fact that no matter what they say, you will always love and trust me. And Psyche agreed. Her sisters came and they said, oh, what a beautiful home you have. Look at these treasures, look at everything. And then they turned to her and they said, you must surely be laying with a beast. They told her, Psyche, you must see what he looks like. He must be so heinous. A beast, definitely. Now, although Psyche had promised that she would always love and trust her husband, she ended up falling through to the temptation. That night, she took a candle and she lit it and she brought it close to her husband. And she saw not a beast, but a god among men. And the candlelight woke that god. And Eros was so betrayed and heartbroken that his beloved hadn't trusted that his love was true, that Eros left. And Psyche was so dismayed that she went to Aphrodite, Eros' mother, and begged for him back. And Aphrodite said, "You must complete some tasks for me first, and then maybe you'll have him back." And so Psyche went forth and completed task after task, including going inside of the middle of a waterfall and almost dying. And then Eros got wind of what was going on, and he flew to his mother and to Psyche, and he reprimanded his mother, and he begged Psyche to forgive her, and they lived happily ever after. To people who are very into Greek mythology, this is known as the Eros and Psyche reunion. It's also a signal for you where these asteroids, Eros and Psyche, are transiting in your natal chart as to where you yourself will encounter soulmates that you meet time and time again, that you have romantic reunions with. These are the most significant romances in our lives, although I'm sure all of us can say we've fallen in love at least more than once, unless you're under 20 maybe. Okay, so if you have Eros or Psyche in the sign of Aries, this indicates that you are looking for someone to protect, to be inspired by, and to argue with. Yes, I did say that. Now, you're a physically active sign, so you'll express your love with strong bouts of physical affection and displays of love. That being said, you also are a stickler for physical appearance, so you won't date anyone that's ugly. However, they need to have something going on upstairs, even if they're just a smooth talker. Your best match is someone that has Eros or Psyche in Aries or Libra. For those of you with Taurus in if you have Eros or Psyche in Taurus, then you need someone you can possess, but it goes both ways. They'll be able to possess you too, since you're extremely loyal. That's the most important thing for you. You're also a sensualist, so you'll want not only affection with your partner on a consistent basis, but also good food. Your number one goal with a relationship is to set up a prosperous home with your soulmate. Your best match is someone with Eros or Psyche in Taurus or Scorpio. If your Eros or Psyche is in Gemini, then this means sycophants need not apply. You're more interested in an intellectual that will bring experimentation and friendship into your life than you are in a babe per se. Now, that being said, you won't take kindly to anyone that's fake. You need someone that's real. Frequently with this placement, you find that friends turn into lovers more so than not. Keep that in mind. Now, if you're a Gemini, your best match is going to be someone with Eros or Psyche in Gemini or Sagittarius. You'll also find that short distance, short duration travel improves your love life time and time again. If your Eros or Psyche are in the sign of Cancer, this tells us that you're seeking someone to nurture and protect, someone that you can truly build a home with. If you're a woman or a man, you're looking for the ideal patriarch or matriarch for your family. A person that enjoys children and cooking and the home life is certainly your number one priority. You also can be moody at times, so lovers need to accept the fact that once in a while you are going to go a little crazy. Now, that being said, you make up for that with your loyalty and enduring spirit. You can truly heal your romantic partner. If your Eros or Psyche are in the sign of Cancer, your best match is people with their Eros or Psyche in Cancer or the sign of Capricorn. If your Eros or Psyche is in Leo, then you definitely want someone that's good looking because you enjoy being adored and you like a level of notoriety. Because of that, arm candy is definitely where you want some attention. Now, that being said, if your arm candy steps out on you, then they're out the door. Leo wants to be adored as well, so this needs to be a beautiful person that realizes just what a hotshot they are for partnering up with a Leo such as yourself. Now, your best match, if you're someone with Eros or Psyche in Leo, is someone with Eros or Psyche in Aquarius or the sign of Leo. If your Eros or Psyche are in the sign of Virgo, then you like to be put to service by the one you love. Frequently, you'll find yourself dating entrepreneurs who like having you work for them for free. You're looking for someone that's honest, dependable, reliable, who will appreciate all of the little things you do to show that you love them. Now, the only downside to having this placement is you tend to love people to the point of complacency. Don't let yourself become a doormat, because you are more valuable than you think if you have Eros or Psyche in Virgo. Now, your best match is people who have their Eros or Psyche in Pisces or the sign of Virgo. If your Eros or Psyche is in the sign of Libra, then you're looking for someone that you can communicate with, debate with, and who inspires you to learn more about current events and things of that nature. Now, you also want someone that's beautiful, because you're ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty and romance. And the point of this lifetime for many of you is actually to find your soulmate. So, obviously, you put forth a lot of effort there. Now, you are constantly wondering if there might be something better or not, or just around the corner. And if that is truly the case, then just know you haven't yet met the other person who has Eros or Psyche in Aries or Libra. They're coming. If your Eros or Psyche is in the sign of Scorpio, then you seek to become one with your partner. You want to know all of their little secrets, and you want to truly become one with them. This is the most powerful Eros Psyche placement, and it is indicative of a very strong sex life, mind games, manipulations in sex, dealings with the government, and multiple love affairs throughout the course of your lifetime. It also tells us that when you love someone, it becomes soul imprinting for you in the other party. You definitely make a point to be remembered, and so do the partners that you choose. Your best match if you have Eros or Psyche in Scorpio is someone with Eros and Psyche in Taurus or the sign of Scorpio. Eros and Psyche in Sagittarius tells us that you are looking for someone that is your friend, your lover, an adventurer like you, someone who's blunt, intelligent, well-traveled, and well-read. It appears that your best match will consistently be people with Eros or Psyche in Sagittarius or in Gemini. These are the two placements which you will find are willing to elope with you in Nepal and trek around the world together. So enjoy that. If your Eros or Psyche is in Capricorn, then you're looking for the perfect person to add to your family. Family relations are more important to you than they are to other signs. And your best match because of this is going to be someone with Eros or Psyche in Cancer or the sign of Capricorn. You typically want to build and protect with the one you love. So you protect them, they protect you, you build things together and hit long-range goals with one another. For Capricorns, the only downside to this placement for your Eros or Psyche is that you tend to hold on to relationships that may have outlived their usefulness in this lifetime, simply because of the fact that you've known them for a long time. Something to consider. For people with Eros or Psyche in Aquarius, you're looking for someone to treat you not so great. Doesn't sound like a very pleasing thing, I'm sure, but that's because of the fact that Aquarius rules the 11th house, so you frequently find yourself in relationships where you're with someone who's a real big shot, and being with that VIP makes it okay for them to degrade you in little ways. You also need someone that's intelligent, creative, and a total individualist just like you. Because of that, you'll find that your best match is usually someone with Eros or Psyche in Leo or Aquarius. If your Eros or Psyche are in the sign of Pisces, this tells us you're looking for someone that you can share a telepathic link with, someone who you can feel completely comfortable with, even in the resounding silence. Now, that being said, you're also looking for someone that can protect you from the bad guys that surround your life. And you are very sensual and conscientious, but when you're really upset, you tend to pull a bit of a Houdini act, which will definitely upset your partners. Because of this, it's very likely that you'll have more than one spouse. Your best match is someone with Eros or Psyche in Virgo or Pisces. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Mystic Gwen. You can call or chat me today on Keen.com. All 10-minute or longer readings come with an email full of additional omens on you covering the next few months. Come back tomorrow for another video. Much love. I'm Mystic Gwen.